On the show. It's great to be with you on the I Love CVille Network. A lot we're going to cover on the program. More businesses are hitting the market. We're in the business brokerage space. We do a lot of business brokerage, helping buyers and sellers buy businesses and sell businesses. Another one, this one, Canipe Brothers, is a fresh listing, which we will talk about and highlight on the show. We will spotlight some of the other restaurants that are for sale in the Charlottesville area, some of the other businesses that are for sale in the Charlottesville area, and perhaps some new businesses that are coming to market. I'll give you a little on the record, off the record commentary, not betraying any trust. The information we get for this talk show and for our network is given to us because we have a reputation of credibility when it comes to maintaining anonymity, maintaining sources, their discretion, and asking the folks that we talk with whether or not this is something that they want on the record, on our platform or not, or should it be background information. My day is often spent, frankly, this is a large portion of what I do. A large portion of what I do is in-person meetings, phone calls, FaceTime, texting with movers and shakers in the Central Virginia market, talking about deals, opportunities, talking about what they want out there from a narrative or platform standpoint, who's looking to do what, who's looking to buy something, who's looking to sell something. A large portion of deal flow happens without 99% of the community even aware that it's happening, especially in what I would still call it an old boys club. As progressive as we are in Charlottesville and Albemarle County and across Central Virginia, and this is an extremely progressive region. It's a reflection of the University of Virginia. It's progressive with its politics. It's progressive with sexuality. It's progressive with religion. It's progressive with freedom of speech. It's progressive in so many regards. The business deal flow and the real estate deal flow is the opposite, and it's still very much an old boys club where a small group of people, and I'm talking, I wouldn't even want to give a number, but I would say a couple of thousand, and that might even be a high number, are dictating a lot of what's happening in a 300,000 person market. I mean, I would bet you it's below a percentage point. I want you to take a look at the screen for some of the headlines we're going to cover. Jeff Fogel continues to be in the news. He's an activist attorney. Jeff Fogel, perhaps most known in this community for the man who pushed the legalization of panhandling or prevented local government from banning panhandling on the downtown mall. Jeff Fogel on Monday spoke before City Council demanding an apology from the city. And he's representing one of the individuals arrested on the UVA protest by the chapel. Look, all the charges are going to get dropped here. Mm-hmm. You know, say what you want about Jeff Fogel, and I know he watches the program from time to time, and I hope this gets back to him. Mr. Fogel is good at what he does. And what Jeff Fogel does is to be in the news cycle, be in the narrative, be a pest, stand up for his clients' rights. He's adamant about rights and what we can and cannot do from a free speech standpoint, from a protesting standpoint. He follows local government very closely. As someone who can relate to what I'm about to say when it applies to Jeff Fogel, not everyone likes him. Some people love him, some people hate him, but everyone knows he's there and he's influencing the market. I want to talk about Fogel's influence over council and what he had to say about the governor. It looks like, do you have Youngkin misspelled in the headline, Judah?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Department of Defense is investing $41+ million into Orange County. We'll let you know how. We'll talk more Glenn Youngkin on this program. I like to consolidate the headlines if we can. So if we're talking, I'm just spitballing with you. We're just doing this because I'm so busy in real time. I love to group the editor in me, the newspaper editor in me, likes to group headlines. So if we're talking about Youngkin in slot 1, 2, 3, 4, We should also talk about him in slot 5 and slot 6 if there's other Youngkin headers. We got that Department of Defense headline with Orange County in between some of the Youngkin stuff. Just something to consider for future rundowns. I want to talk this topic on today's show, Louisa County. How does it avoid some of the pitfalls that are plaguing Crozet now? I love Crozet. Crozet is beautiful. It's at the base of the Blue Ridge. It's got gorgeous views. It's got the Disneyland of Crozet, Pro Renata. It's got amenities now. It's got King Family. It's got shopping and dining. It's close to 64. But let's be straightforward. We have to be straightforward with ourselves if we want a better Central Virginia. Schools are beyond overcrowded in Crozet. Beyond overcrowded. And infrastructure as it pertains to traffic is a very much a concern for Crozetians. You have 2 ways in and out of Crozet, and if one of those channels becomes blocked or dammed up, like a beaver dam, it would be it really impacts quality of life. 64 or the bypass. So Louisa County, who's on a very aggressive path to becoming the next Crozet in Central Virginia, and extremely aggressive, and wait till Amazon gets in the mix with their $11 billion. What can Louisa County learn from Crozet to prevent the pitfalls that we see from Crozet today? I want to have that conversation. I want to talk business deal flow with restaurants that are for sale on the show. We'll lead with Canipe Brothers, which is breaking news, an asking price of $150,000. A fantastic bar and grill. Yes, most notably located next to the porn shop. Is that one of your favorite places, Judah? Ultimate Bliss?
Oh, yeah. I bring my family there. I'm
such a child. I apologize. Yeah. The immaturity levels I show from time to time. It's not just here and on the show. My wife would also highlight the immaturity levels. We'll get to this. I did hear from a friend of the talk show, a very well-connected woman, and I will look into this. I will look into this on the show. But I received a communication, a text today from a mover and shaker, and this person very much would know, that Barracks Road Shopping Center, Appalachian Running Company, is coming to Barracks Road Shopping Center. And it's the folks who own the Shoe Fly store on Barracks Road are looking to potentially take over the jewelry store next door and position a new business called Appalachian Running Company, where the units are connected, same owners. And the idea is to compete with local icon Ragged Mountain Running Shop on Ellwood Avenue, now owned by two second-generation Lorenzoni children.
Yep.
Appalachian Running Company. I did not put that as one of the headlines because I'm working to get everything signed, sealed, and delivered. But the news that's been passed to me, the information that's been passed to me, the deal flow that's been passed to me, I find to be extremely, extremely, extremely reliable. And I've proven on this talk show many times that our sources are beyond reliable, especially if I'm going to say it on this microphone and in front of these cameras. Okay, so this market is, I think, pretty hot when it comes to a running and walking and hiking market. And you think about it, there are not many competitors out there. You got Ragged, local market leader. They're crushing it. You got what, a running, Crozet running shop. Is that the name of their, I want to make sure I have their name right. Did it permanently close in Crozet? Maybe it permanently closed. But there's not a lot of competition in this space.
Right.
And there's not a lot of competition in the space despite a very deep pool of runners, walkers, and hikers. So much so that we have a race, it would seem like, every other weekend in this community.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a scoop coming for you. Appalachian Running Company to Barracks Road Shopping Center. All right, the lead of the headline. lead of the show, and before I get to the lead, I want to highlight Otto Turkish Street Food and give you an opportunity to highlight Otto. I talk about them all the time on Water Street. Take 15 seconds to highlight what you love about Otto Turkish Street Food on Water Street in downtown Charlottesville, with literally parking on their doorstep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, you can't talk about Otto Turkish Street Food without talking about the owners, who are both super, super nice, wonderful guys, and the food is great. I brought a whole bunch of the stuff, a whole bunch of of their items home to my parents' house after taking photos of some of the food, and we had a feast. It was wonderful, and I have promised that as soon as they get back from their vacation, we're going to hit up Otto's.
This guy might be the best son in the entire world, Judah Wickhauer.
I doubt that.
Parents would be so lucky to have a son as committed to his parents as Judah Wickhauer is. I sincerely mean that. You adore your folks, and I know you love to highlight that they're great people too, but you check in regularly, see them often. It's impressive.
I happen to live about 15 to 20 minutes away. So
I think that would be
it's pretty easy to do.
The more I have become, I just watched our son today graduate from kindergarten. It was a joyous hour. Mm-hmm. So much so that yours truly was crying in front of complete strangers, more so than my wife.
I'm sure some of them were crying too.
More so than my wife. I watch him graduate from kindergarten in a joyous celebration that just moved me with emotion and made me proud and realized that 6 years have gone by the blink of the eye, and excited for him as he heads into first grade. Mm-hmm. And as I grow as a father, and my wife would say the same, we realize all we want to do is spend quality time with our boys and our kids. And part of us are apprehensive or nervous or hesitant. What happens when they do leave the nest? We just want the baby birds around us.
Yeah.
Even after 18 or 22 or whatever it is from high school or college. All right, let's get to the news at hand. Let's get the first headline on screen. John Blair, I'll get to your comment in a matter of moments. I think you will very much appreciate the gentleman I introduced you to, John, via email. Knipe Brothers is for sale. The asking price is $150,000 for Knipe Brothers, which is located over there by Best Buy and, of course, by Ultimate Bliss. Ultimate Bliss. Can you imagine the approval? You can't just open up a porn shop. You have to go through approval. You would have to go through approval. I wish I was a fly on the wall with the approval process, the permitting process of bringing this business to Albemarle County.
When was it started? Do we know?
We could probably look into that.
Know?
Maybe that's a summertime show. Knipe Brothers is a bar and grill. It's had a number of iterations at this location. And Knipe Brothers is billed as clean, as affordable, as a bar, as a grill, as having a fantastic landlord, with parking on site, with having little competition from an affordability or non-chain standpoint on that side of town. Many of the businesses on 29 North are big box restaurants, especially on that portion of 29. Knipe Brothers has a boatload of cars that go right by it. It's next to a neighborhood. It's next to a Class A shopping center. It's got parking on site. And as I've highlighted, the landlord is great. Stu, friend of the program, Rifkin, has got the listing. If you're interested in purchasing this business or opening your own business at Knipe Brothers, we would be happy to work with you to get into that space. I have highlighted on this program the boatload of restaurants that are currently for sale. And some I can mention and some I cannot mention. Some we have the listings for and can say online, and others we have non-disclosures, which I guard with my life. We know Uma's is for sale. on Water Street. And Uma's has got a timestamp before the folks that own Uma's choose to leave the market. The asking price is $120,000 for Uma's. We know that Himalayan Fusion is for sale on the downtown mall. We know that Kuma is for sale on Elliowood Avenue. Friend of the program, Chris Kabash, owns that building. He's got a partner in that building, Mr. Woodard. Would love to purchase that building personally. We know Athens Grill is for sale. We know Iron Poffles and Coffee on Water Street is for sale. And then there's 1, 2, 3 other ones that are extremely well-known commodities that are also for sale, like icons that are for sale that are under non-disclosure that we cannot mention. I want to highlight this. What are some of the commonalities with the many restaurants that we have seen come on the market for sale? Who owns the Ultimate Bliss building, Deep Throat? He says, I know who owns it, not involved with the business, but he did end up with the building a few years ago. I would love to know who owns that, Deep Throat. Let us know. What are some of the commonalities with these businesses that are for sale?
I honestly don't know.
Here's what I've seen, is a lot of them are not in the fast casual quick serve capacity. A lot of them are relying on maybe too much labor. I got it. I understand completely. I'll respect that anonymity there, Deep Throat. Fantastic ownership position for this this particular person. Quickly pivoting to a less labor-intensive model is very important right now. You need to do a pickup window. You need to do one person in the front of the house, maybe 1.5, with a pickup window, order at the register, pick up the food at the window, take it to your seat, bus your own tables. I've seen this model work really well at a number of spots. Ivy Provisions, this works well at. Friend of the program, Terry Hinderman, the mayor of Fry Springs, owns the building of Ivy Provisions. He owns the building, Terry Hinderman, the mayor of Fry Springs, the gas station that he remodeled into Fry Springs Pizza. He owns that building. He owns the shopping center, the Maury Avenue Shopping Center, where Anna's is located, where the Marie Bett team and one of their bakers are opening a donut shop over there. Remember who got that news out there first? This talk show right here. Okay? He is a prolific owner of real estate in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Terry Hinderman owns the building on Old Ivy Road where a rock climbing gym is coming.
Nice.
Opening on the near horizon. A lot of people don't know about this. A rock climbing gym is coming to Old Ivy Road. Under the rail pass close to St. Anne's Belfield. It's going to have a significantly positive impact on this community. More details as they become available, which we will release on the show, will allow the owner to get some of those details out. But I've seen, to stay focused, I've seen the businesses that do. I was just at Vetoes this morning after my son's kindergarten graduation.
I went there yesterday evening.
There's a 35-person line.
Ooh.
I waited in the line for less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Less than 10 minutes. This particular morning, I got a ham, egg, cheddar cheese on a plain bagel. My wife got a salt bagel with plain cream cheese, and our kindergarten graduate got a plain bagel with cream cheese. Our 18-month-old was eating off everybody's plate. Ivy Provisions crushes it. Moe's on Ivy Road. Friend of the program, Derek Bond, who owns Moe's in the Melting Pot. We helped broker the deal of Moe's with Derek Bond. He's got a business that's doing extremely well. Jack Brown's is doing extremely well on the downtown mall. You got one bartender and you got one, maybe two people in the kitchen. The food served on paper plates that are thrown away, and customers bust their tables and clean up the counters.
Yeah.
These are the models that are working now. The businesses that are coming on the market for sale are ones that have staff, heavy staff. It's no secret. I'm not saying that can't work. You're just going to have to be on your A-plus game and realize that your margin's not going to be as fat as one of them that isn't as labor intensive.
Right.
So those are some of the commonalities I'm seeing with the. I mean, I'm counting. I'll let you know how many on our CRM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 restaurants currently for sale. All of them you know. Many of them icons. And speaking of icons, we've covered this on previous shows. I mentioned the business that's going to open soon in Barracks Road Shopping Center, Appalachian Running Company, to challenge or compete with Ragged Mountain Running Shop. What is a more iconic business in the city of Charlottesville than Ragged Mountain Running Shop? We've talked about this on previous shows. You put Vetoes in Riverside. What else challenges the icon nature of Vetoes, Riverside, and Ragged Mountain Running Shop? There's very few. City of Charlottesville specifically.
Mincers,
I would give you that. I'd give you Mincers. Eljo's has got a longevity, but I think I wouldn't put, maybe you put Eljo's in there, owned by friend of the program, Trent Thurston. There's few, though.
Yeah, there's very few.
C&O?
Yep, C&O.
Maybe you put C&O in the mix. What is that, the longest running restaurant in the downtown mall right now, C&O? Unless you call Timberlake a restaurant, which we do. Say Timberlake and C&O.
Yeah.
They can challenge from an icon standpoint in the city of Charlottesville. City of Charlottesville only. Which one on Midtown? Mel's, maybe? Maybe Mel's Cafe?
Sure.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Right? What on Preston Avenue would challenge from an icon nature? Has Shenandoah Joe's been around long enough? Hadn't been around as long as C&O or Ragged Mountain Running Shop.
No.
What on the UVA corner would you put in that? The Virginian, 1923, over 100 years of operation, the Virginian restaurant, owned by friend of the program, Annie McClure.
Virginian, maybe, oh, no, I'm drawing a blank. Good grief. The burger place.
The burger place. Oh, that one, Judah. That burger place.
Oh, come on.
On the downtown mall?
No.
On the corner?
On the corner.
Boylan Heights?
Yeah, Boylan Heights.
Boylan Heights, I wouldn't put in that. When I was in college, it was Orbit.
Yeah, I know.
James Watson worked there.
It's still.
Believe
pretty,
Andrew Vaughn owned part of it.
It's still so visible. I would say that it's doesn't really matter what it's called. I remember it as Orbit too.
Ginny Who's watching the program. She thought our comments of the ladies of the night, I described them as entrepreneurs of the passion and physicality variety. She found that to be hilarious. She says, what kind of exercise should you do when those ladies walk by? She's talking about during the show. What would we do when the entrepreneurs of the passion and physicality variety? There's 3 that I know of that routinely patronize the downtown mall, and it's often at Fridays after 5.
Would push-ups be too suggestive?
Prior to Fridays after 5. Would push-ups be too suggestive? I don't think why would that be suggestive?
For when the ladies of the night walk by?
That's not suggestive.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's way more suggestive things I could do than banging out 20 push-ups, pun intended. I mean, come on. Whoa, Judah, you're living on the edge with the push-ups.
Okay. Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. We're talking
about
exercises, not like, what are you talking about? How many exercises can you...
I should answer that question.
You can name a bunch of exercises that are more suggestive than... okay.
Bill McChesney says the Preston Avenue Martin Hardware should be on that icon list. Great call, Bill McChesney. Philip Dow says the lack of staff if the restaurants are the ones that are going to survive. And Bill McChesney on McIntyre Road says Ultimate Bliss location was a bank branch. It's in the city and even more contentious. Oh, it's in the city. I screwed up. I called it in the county. I stand corrected, Mr. McChesney. Thank you for holding me accountable. He's right. It's before Stonefield. The county-city line is right around Stonefield. In fact, the county-city line goes through that Kmart shopping center. Very good call, Mr. McChesney. It is in the city, and he said it was a way more contentious process to get the porn shop in. I'll give you a little background on this. We bring businesses to market. We bring businesses to market through business brokerage, through building the website, the advertising, launching the advertising campaign, the media campaign for the business. We've bring businesses to market with helping them find funding. We've helped we've helped 5 businesses secure private equity money locally to grow, expand, or come into market. Mm-hmm. That's in 2024. And we hear a lot of deal flow at the Macklin building. And over the last 16 years of being self-employed, 3 different groups of entrepreneurs have tried to bring, this is a true story. 3 different groups of entrepreneurs have tried to have positioned business models in front of me of the gentleman's club, strip club variety to appeal or go after the UVA student market.
Wow.
3 different groups over 16 years. And each time the conversation, always the hurdle was the approval needed with local government, and I highlighted, you're never going to get it. If you want to appeal to UVA students, you're going to want to be close to grounds, and you're never going to get that from Charlottesville and Albemarle County. They won't let an Olive Garden in or a Crackle Barrel in. Why do you think they're going to let a lot of curves in? Or whatever you want to call it. Where I always suggested where it should go was Zion's Crossroads. Zion's Crossroads is where I suggested it should go. And the trepidation was, would the students drive there? And no one has that answer.
Yeah.
No one has that answer. All right. Jeff Fogel headline. Put that on screen. And then we got comments coming in. We got a 115 hard stop today, maybe 117 hard stop. Fogel set the stage for Jeff Fogel blaming Glenn Youngkin at the most recent city council meeting. Guys, I said this from day one on that UVA protest, that it was Youngkin behind the puppet screen working Jim Ryan and Tim Longo and the state police. He was the puppeteer. Ryan, Longo, and the state police were his puppets, and he was controlling the narrative as the puppeteer and the outcome. Yeah. And he was creating a leverage opportunity to potentially push Ryan out of office as his new appointees come to the Board of Visitors this summer. I said that from day one. Others are saying the same thing. Set the stage for Jeff Fogel.
Well, he's been pushing for an apology, not for anything specific, but because resources from our community taxes were used as part of the approach, and he's placing a lot of the blame on Governor Glenn Youngkin and State Attorney General Jason Miyares. So he's largely taking the blame off of Jim Ryan, which. You're right.
We've said it all along. Sense. This does not match Jim Ryan and what he has done as president of UVA, militarizing the police and pepper spraying students and arresting kids on grounds. It's completely contradictory to everything Jim Ryan has done on grounds.
Yeah, it totally smacked of somebody above him saying, look, you got to toe the line. This is what we're going to do. And he did it.
Do we have Youngkin spelled wrong in the lower third? There's a G. There's a G. The Fogel gets an apology from Michael Payne.
Yep.
Are you surprised that Michael Payne apologized?
No.
I'm not surprised either.
And it's more of a, what's the word?
Pomp and circumstance? Window dressing?
Yeah, is pro forma the right word?
Are you surprised that Fogel says, I don't even put any of the real blame on Mike Kochis? I'm not surprised by that either.
I don't know that anybody's ever mentioned Kochis in relation to what happened there.
Bingo. I don't think Chief Kochis had really anything to do with this.
Yeah.
It's on university grounds. His department, Charlottesville Police Department, was there to assist, but it's not his jurisdiction because it was on UVA grounds.
I wonder if they meant to put Longo in.
Were you surprised he did not put more of the blame on Longo? He made Youngkin the fall guy.
I think the same applies. I think Longo is just as much under the thumb of the state as President Jim Ryan. So I think the decisions he made were he may have wanted to cede control of what was going on, wash his hands, so to speak, in pilot fashion, but yeah, I think Longo too does not seem like the type of person to have wanted or to ever want something like this to escalate to the point that it did.
Especially at this point of his career.
Yeah,
He's on the back end.
yeah. I think
You don't want this staining his legacy.
I think Ryan and Longo were both pretty much had their hands tied and sadly ended up on the.
They were the fall guys.
Yeah. They were told what to do, and they were given the playbook and given their marching orders, and ultimately, what can you do?
There you go. I'll say this again. Say what you want about Jeff Fogel. He stays in the narrative. He goes balls to the wall for his clients as their attorneys. And he knows how to push the right buttons. And he's doing it again.
Yeah.
He was the guy. This is why I say what you want about him. But he was the guy that pretty much kept panhandling from getting banned downtown. All right. I want to get to the Department of Defense. James, I appreciate you sending this to me. This is dude, there is so much defense money in the Central Virginia area. It's startling. Mm-hmm. I know Waynesboro's not really considered Central Virginia, but it's right on the outskirt. You got a $215 million Northrop Grumman facility opening over there. Mm-hmm. You got Albemarle County buying land from Wendell Wood north of town, basically on the Greene County line, for Rivanna Futures. You're basically building a spy campus and epicenter over there. You got spies and defense money, security clearance everywhere. We're getting even more of it. Orange County, $41.2 million, you heard that correct, $41,200,000 expansion of an Orange County rocket facility. Defense contractor L3 Harris Technologies plans to construct new facilities and hire 80 people at the local plant it acquired last year. A DoD weapons contract. We got so much talent here, and we still, in the grand scheme of things, have affordability, and we're close enough in proximity to DC, and we got, obviously, the talent from UVA, that we are becoming, whether it's down low or not, a huge focal point for the defense industry. The Chamber of Commerce, what was the Chamber of Commerce report? Was it $1.2 billion, billion with a B, Chamber of Commerce? Letty Bean, right? I think it was $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. I'm Googling it. I want to make sure I have it right. Here it is. I was right. This was over a year ago. Memory of a trap. Trap?
Steel trap.
Steel trap. Elephant. Chamber of Commerce details the defense sector's impact on the community at $1.2 billion. I want you to think about that. $1.2 billion. And that's before the Northrop Grumman $212 million Waynesboro factory and before this $41.2 million expansion in Orange County. Mm. This from the report. All of this together, and this was last year in May. Letty Bean, who presented this report to local government. We need to get her back on the show. She watches the show. She said there are just under 4,000 direct jobs in the defense industry in the region, with over 1,350 indirect jobs. There are another 2,000 induced jobs, which means those generated by spending by workers in the defense sector. That adds up to 7,350 jobs. She says they have 480 employees and do no work with Rivanna Station, Northrop Grumman. She says they work for the Navy and the Coast Guard and the navigational systems that go into ships. About 25% of their workforce are veterans. She says all this adds up to $1.2 billion per year. $1.2 billion per year for the local economy, and this was before the Northrop Grumman $215 million or $212 million investment, and this $40+ million in Orange County. Folks, you are looking at second largest, third largest driver of the economy. What do you say? Tourism, hospitality and tourism will say number one. I'd love to get the hospitality and tourism numbers. Maybe you say real estate and all the auxiliary revenue streams tied to it as two, maybe, but I might be hard pressed. Actually, number one we'll say is University of Virginia. I stand corrected. Number one, University of Virginia. Two, tourism and hospitality. Three, maybe real estate. Four, what's going to be $1.2 billion yearly impact and growing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That's why our economy stays strong and we're insulated with so much, we're insulated from so many macro headwinds, excuse me. All right, a couple of other items out of the notebook with about a hard stop of 4 or 5 more minutes. You want to highlight Katrina Callsen's bill. John Blair's got some commentary on Callsen, I think. Oh, no, it's on restaurants. I stand corrected. John Blair says, given how hard it is for a lot of restaurants to remain in business, it is quite befuddling and disappointing that the governor and state legislators announced Virginia Invests, which is a state-funded venture capital fund that received over $40 million in taxpayer funds. First, these state venture funds don't work. Second, it is a slap in the face to the startup restaurants that won't see a penny of these funds. Excuse me. Worst, he says, economic development move in Virginia history. This is as shameful and room temperature IQ a move as the Commonwealth could make. Wow. John Blair, I like that. Respect that comment, JB. I respect you. Respect that comment. Set the stage for Katrina Callsen and put the lower third on screen, please, as we up the tempo on the show.
So, in a rare move for a...
What's up, Aaron King?
For a freshman legislator, they had a...
Former school board chair, Albemarle County.
Mm-hmm. They had a signing ceremony with Governor Youngkin to sign in the bill started by Katrina Callsen. This is the kinship foster care legislation, and I think it sounds like a good thing. The signing of the legislation sets a framework for placing children with relatives rather than foster care, and I think we can all agree that in most cases, children would be much better off with some form of family, and I can only imagine how hard it is and was and has been for kids getting, taken by the system and placed into foster care when there are family members that could have done something to, find them a home.
Good job, KC. Good job, Katrina Callsen. Props to KC. This seems like legislation that should already been in play. This seems like the definition of common sense. Mm-hmm. But it takes someone with initiative to make this a reality, and she just did.
And passion.
And passion. She's a mother. Well done, Katrina Callsen.
Yeah, definitely.
Putting kids in a system as opposed to having them in the purview or care of family members is the definition of stupidity, sets children back, and it bloats the system.
Yeah.
Well done, Katrina. Love that you highlighted that. I also want to highlight Youngkin has crushed skill games. We can get this off our docket. Youngkin has done some things. Youngkin's a free market guy. He's a business guy. He's a Republican. He's a finance guy, a hedge fund guy, Carlyle Group. He's done some things that have left me really eyebrow raised. What he's doing with cannabis and marijuana and retail seems to be the opposite of what he stands for.
Yeah.
Where he's basically utilizing government to screw Main Street and Market Street proverbially across the Commonwealth of Virginia and interfere with small business. Even if it's tied to a plant, the plant's not being policed.
Right.
If it's not being policed, legalize it and tax it and get out of the way. Don't muck it up and red tape it. I'm not a fan of the skill games. I think the skill games prey on uneducated people that are the ones who are hurt the most by skill games. But Youngkin got involved with the skill games and said you can't do them.
Yeah.
He's done some things that are opposite of the free market, which leaves me befuddled.
I mean, that's
politics.
That is politics.
And what he's trying to do is maintain his base, and his base is still the Christian conservative Republican.
I think there's also a big fight going on with casinos. We spoke to.
The casinos don't want the skill games. They want the gambling to happen in their casinos. And
they, of
the
course,
lottery, and the Virginia lottery.
And they, of course, have lots of money.
The lottery wants the money flowing through Virginia and not the skill games. I mean, it's all backroom dealing. Backroom dealing. I want to save this topic for tomorrow. The Louisa County avoiding the pitfalls of Crozet. You're looking at the fastest expanding county population, economy, sales tax collection. We still haven't seen $11 billion from Amazon's impact.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen 600 to 700 undeveloped lots coming to market in Spring Creek. How does Louisa mimic the successes of Crozet and avoid the pitfalls of Crozet? That topic on tomorrow's show. For Judah Wickower, I'm Jerry Miller.